Hey YouTube gun people. So here's a collection of my Smith & Wessons 1911 686 M&P 9 full size. Real pretty firearms. They do the trick. They work well. They've been reliable for me. But I want to talk to you today about what do you do when you're in a situation where you can't carry any of these firearms, and you might not be able to carry a knife. This happens to be an Osborne, a Benchmade Osborne 940. I don't know, let's see. It's a great knife. Really like it. But it's not about a knife review. Today is about what are you going to do when you can't carry any of this stuff. Maybe you can't carry pepper spray. There are those situations. There really are. A lot of them. And you always have these, right? You can always get in a fist fight. That's definitely good to be able to do that. But it takes a lot more skill to throw a punch, and that'll become readily apparent if you just watch some YouTube videos where people are getting in fist fights. Most of them don't know how to throw punches. Actually, a lot of MMA fights, guys don't know how to throw punches either. You know, they're from a wrestling background, so they don't work on any of their boxing. Anyway, so one solution would be another product, at least labeled under Smith & Wesson M&P, a tactical pen. This one happens to be, let's try to get this in focus for you. Let's see if this will come up. There it is. A tactical pen. If you want to be Mr. Tactical, you have to have one of these. But seriously, actually when my daughter bought me this at a gun show, here it is. Let's do a little zooming in here. It's a fine writing instrument. I think you can appreciate this thing is it's blue. No, but it's made out of machined aluminum, okay? And it's got a nice sturdy clip on it. I don't know how long it is. It's probably about 7 inches or so. You can measure it. Doesn't really matter. You can look all that stuff up. Aluminum, heavy duty. What's interesting about these and why can you use them? Well, on this end, here's one of your business ends. It's kind of refined down to a point where this can now be used as a tool to defend yourself. Okay? So even in a position like this, if you rake this down somebody's sternum, that would definitely work to dissuade them. If you struck them on the side of the face, if you came across to the side of the head, if you used it to capture an arm, to put them in an arm bar, this can be very, very handy. Okay, it's pointy, it's sturdily made. You unscrew it. You can post the cap. It also screws down here. So if your cap's off, when you're writing and you need to defend yourself, you can go for the ballpoint end. It's just a ballpoint pen. You can write with it. Happens to have black ink. There's an O-ring here. Keeps it watertight to some extent. So if you dropped it in a puddle or something like that, it wouldn't be a mess. It takes standard refills, like refills for a Fisher Space Pen will work in these. Pretty standard refill. You can order them in all different colors, different width points, fine, super fine, medium, etc. I think this is a really interesting thing to have with you, and it could get you out of some difficulty. You know, at first glance, it's a non-lethal option. I can tell you this can become a lethal option really, really quickly. Really quickly. You know, if you drove this through an eye socket, it would be a lethal option. It's pretty heavy duty. Um, I don't know how much it weighs. If we look in the box here, it's actually made by this company, Taylor Brands LCC for Smith & Wesson. It's got a limited lifetime warranty, so if anything goes bad with it, it can be repaired or serviced. It's got the Smith & Wesson logo here. I'm sure you're not going to be able to, that's going to come out like shite. Not too bad. On the end of the cap, and that screws down. So when this is all screwed down, you have your cap on the end of the pen, you have the pointy end here. You can stick this in your shirt pocket, you can stick it in your pants pocket, on the side pocket, a pair of Carhartts. You can readily access this. No one will give it a second thought. I fly with these on airplanes all the time. TSA doesn't have a problem with them. I put them through a bag that goes through the security checkpoint or a jacket pocket. No problem. No one cares. And this can really be very much a useful tool in a bad situation, particularly when you need it most. Let's put it that way. So you have to get clever about situations. You know, everybody thinks you're always going to be carrying. I don't think that's true. Most people that say they carry 100% of the time are either complete whack jobs or full of shite. So you have to think of non-deadly actions or weapons, or potential weapons. The advantage of this over, for instance, a standard ballpoint pen is it's just the strength of it. It's not going to snap off or break on you if you're using it in that role. And I can tell you, if you rake this down someone's sternum, they'll let you go. I guarantee it. That's a pressure point where it's generally not a happy thing to have happen to you. There's the point of it. It's not sharpened. It kind of looks like almost like a stylus here on the end. See that? This is the second generation. They come in all different colors. There's a few different models. This pen at a gun show was somewhere around 25 bucks. So, you know, at a gun show I got ripped off, right? My daughter got ripped off. It was nice. It was sweet of her to get it for me, but you can probably get them on the street for less, or online for less. It's got nice turning here on the aluminum, where it allows you to really grip the pen very well. It's secure in your hand. Doesn't want to slip out of your hand. The clip is super sturdy. This clip ain't going anywhere. So actually, when you clip it in your pocket, it really stays there. On the surface, a non-lethal option that can help you out. If you're interested in that, defending your family, defending your loved ones. I can also tell you that it writes. It does write. So I'll just prove that to you. You know, here's some squiggly lines. It writes just fine. I want to also emphasize the fact that if you're interested in self-defense or defending your loved ones or yourself, or even your cat, you should also be interested in attaining a certain level of physical fitness. I'm not saying you need to be Chuck Connors. Chuck Connors? No, sorry, Chuck Norris. But it's one of those friggin' days. It's Monday. But you should be able to defend yourself. I box 3 times a week. I'm not saying I'm a competitive boxer, but I know what it's like to get punched in the face, and you know, take body blows, and to deliver a punch, and just to keep physically fit. Do something like that, just to let you have some sort of stamina, some sort of physical ability if you ever got into an altercation, even with a firearm, to be able to defend yourself. and it's just good for your overall health as well. Uh, Now, I just watched the movie Zombieland, getting off topic a little bit, but it'll bring us right back to topic. And that was a homework assignment by Mr. Fitch, Mr. J. Rock, Mr. J.M. Fitch, J. Rock. And there's several rules in that movie. If you've seen Zombieland, I think rule number one is something like always have good cardio. Because in Zombieland, if you were really fat and couldn't outrun a zombie, you got eaten. So I think that kind of holds over in the world in general. Try to have good cardio, take care of yourself, and when you're getting in a situation where you're going to have a physical altercation and you're not going to be able to draw a weapon and use it because you don't have your weapon with you. Because remember, we said there are times when that will happen. You're not going to be able to have a knife with you for whatever reason. That physical fitness and strength and mindset will serve you well, and you can grab hold of something like a tactical pen, and you can seriously use this to change the mind of an individual that's decided to pick on the wrong guy that day. Think about it. Non-lethal options that don't include things like chemicals like pepper sprays, because sometimes you can't bring those with you either. You can always have a pen. Always have a pen.